So I'm with Kevin as well. I would really like to see a 9-0 vote on this. If we could get somehow some kind of participation nod from the other governmental entities, as much as I hate to say to continue it, but to get a feel for that, or to put a condition on this, like Councilman Coyne said, of 120 days to find out if there's going to be any help from anyone else. If there's not, then that's disappointing as taxpayers of that area, that your own governmental bodies wouldn't pitch in to get this done and take care of the issues at hand. So I plan on supporting to move forward with it, but I hope we can get the support from other tax-paying bodies to be a part of this and make it a win-win for everybody. Thank you, Mayor.
And Mr. Novak, just to add to that, did I hear you say that if this is a multi-jurisdictional project that it scores higher for federal dollars?
Yes. Yeah.
So the chance of this ever getting improved is enhanced by Naperville being involved with it?
Yes, correct.
Yeah. Councilwoman Sullivan.
Thank you, Mayor. I won't belabor this too long. I'm not going to support this. I see it as a it's like a puzzle, and the resident said, you know, right thing, right place, right time, I think was what somebody brought up. And for me, it's we don't have the right thing in the right place, and it's not the right time. None of the pieces by themselves are the problem. I think I like the development a lot. I think I like it a lot. I have no problems with the development, but I do think that it's not exactly the thing that we need, especially as we talk about affordable housing. You know, diversified housing and affordable housing are two totally separate things, and I think we're getting them mixed up tonight in this debate. But right now, for that land that's there, this is not the right project. It's not the right time, because we just can't get all of this together. And I don't think that, you know, I'd like to say, sure, let's keep moving forward and let's hope and cross our fingers and everything will work out with all these other intergovernmental agencies. But I think at this point, it might be better to put this thing on pause and wait until we get, not have D.R. Horton on the line this whole time, and just see what Wheeland Township and Plainfield want to do. And once we figure that out, then maybe the time will be right for something like this again. So that's it.
And again, just for clarification, I want to point out that that's sort of what we're doing tonight, is to direct staff to prepare ordinances and annexation. So that negotiation would take place. And this sort of falls into the category, because now you've heard two people on the dais who have basically said what they would like to see there in place of this is affordable. And I'm guessing that that is not what you're interested in. But this sort of falls into the category of be careful what you wish for. Just throwing it out there. So we have an interesting situation, because this requires 6 votes to pass. And we have a motion to direct staff to do this ordinance. It will pass with a 5-3 as based on the count here. So that doesn't make sense to do it. Excuse me. That doesn't really make a lot of sense to direct staff to do something if we know, and Councilman Crummins already weighed in as a no. So it doesn't really make sense to direct staff to do something, even though it will pass. And so what I would suggest in this situation is that we table this indefinitely. If we do that, it will require 6 votes to bring it back. So that we'll know that we'll have the support to pass it at that point. But this is not worth asking our staff to spend the next 2 or 3 months with and money and D.R. Horton as well to do something that right now doesn't have support. Councilman Coyne.
Thank you, Mayor. I don't know that I agree with that. I don't know that we don't know that it doesn't have support. What I'm hearing is that we don't want to commit to supporting it till we know that we're going to have a plan for the intersection and money shared amongst the relative bodies to contribute to that plan. I was intending to make a motion that would hopefully attempt to address the concern that Councilwoman Sullivan had raised, which is approve it, subject to our reaching those agreements with those other government entities. And that those agreements would have to result in a cost share and a plan that led to the improvement of 119.
Would that be something that you're open to? Folks?
I guess the question is, you know, the question would be the devil's in the details. So before on this as we've said, I've been told, hey, this is just a thing and you're going to vote on it later and it doesn't really mean anything. And so I just want to be clear that, again, like I'm not against all development there. I think at some point we could annex the space. So yeah, I would want to, there is a world in where I support going ahead, but I don't know that it is it would depend on what the, you know, what the agreement is. So, so that's all I'm saying. I don't exactly know what you're proposing at this point.
Councilman, we have a couple, before you make a, okay, let's, Councilwoman Guston?
Thank you, Mayor. I guess I'm with Councilwoman Sullivan. I didn't know we were going to formally do motions and voting. I thought this was a straw poll, and now it's gotten very formal. So it's a different thinking process, along with the fact that if we're talking about annexation, which I think we would have to do in this particular situation, don't we need 6 votes for annexation?
Correct.
So currently we have
5.
5.
6 votes for an annexation agreement.
I'm hearing somebody. Okay.
Yeah, just look, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That this would pass,
so-
and we're just directing staff to work on annexation agreement right now, but it does require 6 votes to get it passed, and so, you know, Councilman Hinterlaw.
What did he say?
Councilman Hinterlaw. What? What did I say? No, Councilman Hinterlaw.
I don't have anything, Mayor.
Yeah.
Councilman Kelly.
Thank you, Mayor. Just two points. One on the idea of kind of waiting to see if we can reach an agreement. I mean, I guess my thought on that is we've been talking about that for over a year. I mean, it's not like that just came up in the last few weeks and, oh boy, we better sit down and see if we can figure something out in the next month or two. It's been going on for a long, long time. And basically, as far as I see it, no progress has been made, and I don't see any promise of serious progress being made in the next 2 to 3 to 6 months. If I thought there was, that might make things slightly different for me, but I'm seeing that as a years-long process, not a weeks or a months-long process. So I think we're just really drawing out the string on that if we try to pass 02 waiting on that. And then just quick comment on the affordable housing issue. 2 points. One is, at least when I'm talking about needing affordable housing, certainly we're not talking about all 480 units or more or less by a little bit being that entire development. And to Ms. Laff's point about the affordable housing studies that are ongoing at the Housing Advisory Commission with our consultant, we're looking at ordinances in other municipalities who have tackled this issue. And you see a lot of ordinances that will require affordable housing. We're maybe going to be talking about that in the coming year here. And what you see oftentimes is that in a new development, they might require 10%, maybe 15%, maybe 5%, depends on the type of development. You're not going to just have only a development of 500 apartments. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about a small portion of a very large development being affordable. Right now, we've got none. The other alternative in most of those ordinances would be a fee in lieu. If it doesn't make sense, the developer could pay money. In this case, we've talked to Horton about that, and that is not really an option in large part because of the significant amount of money they're having to spend on 119th Street just to do what they're going to do, which still doesn't solve the problem. And to me, it gets back to the issue of the infrastructure is not in place. If the infrastructure was in place and the road was right, we wouldn't have to be looking to Horton to spend millions of dollars to get it somewhat better. And if they didn't have to do that because the infrastructure was in place, maybe they'd be able to look to a fee in lieu that could work to better the citywide affordable housing interest. So there's a lot of ways that could go. I just want to throw that out there. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, Councilman Coyne, we're back to you. Before you begin on this, I think that maybe reconsider what we just talked about before, and that is it might make some sense to table this indefinitely, allow the parties, the stakeholders to meet. If we have the support to bring it back, we need 6 votes, then we can start spending time and money and doing it. But I just feel like we're sending everybody down a rabbit's hole here, not knowing what we're going to get.
Yeah, I'm fine. Can I talk?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Yeah, I'm fine with that, Mayor. I would like to make the comment, though, if the goal is ultimately to improve 119th, our voting this down or putting this off in perpetuity doesn't get us there. What's going to get 119 improved is all of the stakeholders and the governments involved getting together on a development that's of size like this. It's going to get everybody at the table to sit down and deal with it. Us just voting it down isn't going to solve the issue. I think we need to get everybody at a table to figure out how we're going to fix 119. And I think we can do it. I like the development. I just think we need to figure out how we're going to solve the puzzle.
All right, with that, can I have a motion?
Mayor, I moved a motion to table the matter
Indefinitely.
indefinitely.
Madam
Second,
Coyne.
Hinterland.
All in favor? Opposed? Nobody opposed. Okay, so with that, 03, do we have to do the same thing with that, Mr. Sano?
It'd be staff's recommendation. The matter's been tabled indefinitely, and council can bring that back off the table at any time with 6 positive votes. 03 is to extend the effective period of the development. So if DRH wants to continue with it and continue to pursue this or take any input, I would recommend that council pass 03 to allow DRH to continue to work while this matter's on the table.
Got it. Councilwoman Guston?
Mayor, I motion that we adopt the resolution to extend the effective period of the development petition for Polo Club, which is located at 23450 and 23700 West 119th Street, PZC Case 18-1-022.
Second, Hinterland.
Okay, Councilwoman Sullivan?
Just a question. So, this effective period, is there a date certain on this, and what does it mean that I'm not sure what this last one exactly
Mr.
means.
Sano, can you give us, Alice, Ms. Laff?
Sure. So we are recommending that the effective period be extended through, I believe it's March 2021. Essentially, if the effective period is not extended, then by our code, the application will automatically become void as of the end of March of 2020, which would mean that if any additional efforts were to proceed forward on this, D.R. Horton would have to submit a whole new application, pay all new review fees, go back through the Plan Commission for a new public hearing before it comes back to City Council for additional review.
Thank you, that helps, thank you.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. This is for, roll call.
Hinterlong,
Aye.
Kelly,
Aye.
Sullivan,
Aye.
White,
Aye.
Cherico,
Aye.
Broadhead, Coin,
Aye.
Guston.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries 8-0. Okay. Thank you, all of you, for your patience this evening, and thank you for continuing to work in good faith. Next item is new business. Anybody? Councilman Hinterland?
Mayor, I make a motion to adjourn.
Second, Guston.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you.